tell us about your very first session. So back in 2010, right after I came from my level 1 class in England with Dolores, I had a man waiting for me excitedly to have a session with him. His desire was to quit smoking and drinking. He was a heavy drinker and a heavy smoker too. So he was really hoping for this technique, hypnosis, to help him with that. So he came just very few days after I came back from England. He came for his session. It turns out the man is somnambulist. I didn't know, of course. So the session went very smoothly. But what was interesting about it, and I was kind of unprepared for it, because I remember I only had level 1 under my belt. This man didn't see just one past life. He actually saw 5, and they were non-human lives. Can you imagine my surprise? But I was very connected to my client. I kept my cool and I continued asking questions. So the first thing he saw, it was a leaf. When I asked him to look down to his feet, he told me he doesn't have any feet, only some green sticks as legs. My next question was, can you move? And he was, I can jump from leaf to leaf. And then I realized he was an insect, a grasshopper. He was in a tree. And then the next life was of a butterfly being actually attacked by a spider. And he saw the terrifying spider in the actual size from the eyes of a butterfly. Then his next life was a mouse running through grass. And then the fourth life was of a snake in a cave guarding a crystal, a very special one. The fifth life was of an eagle. That was very surprising to me. And I was so excited at the same time. So when I contacted his higher self, of course I asked, why did you show him 5 lives of non-human forms? The answer that came from higher self was because he doesn't respect any other forms of lives, and he needs to know that he was all of them before he came into a human body. That was such a loving yet wise answer, and I felt so grateful to be able to witness such a miracle in front of my eyes. And then, when we got to his desire, the higher self asked me, are you sure he wants to quit? I answered, of course, this is why he's here. So this man, who was not spiritual at the time, who was a very simple man hoping to get this through the hypnosis session, he actually got much more of it from it. So when I asked his higher self to clear his lungs and to clean his liver, it's done a great job working with beautiful pink light to cleanse his lungs and with beautiful golden light to cleanse his liver. And then he had another health issue, something that was causing bleeding when he would take number 2. So that was kind of difficult. The higher self was willing to do it, but then he tried a few times, but still couldn't do it. And when I encouraged, I said, I know you can do this. Just be persistent. Then finally, it let me know it succeeded. And I had contact with his wife 6 months after the session and then 2 years after the session. In each instances, she confirmed he was no bleeding anymore. So that was my first session with a great healing. The downside of it is that he wasn't able to quit smoking and drinking. He was able to only obtain from them for 3 days. So this is my first QHHE session ever. Thank you.